Barbershop conversation. Thank you, Lika. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. Also, follow my second page, Barbershop Conversations Live. I'll put the link in the description box. Let's talk Jaime Munguia. But before we talk about actual Jaime Munguia, I want to talk about y'all motherfuckers. Oh, I can't say that word right now. But I want to talk about how not everyone, a lot of people jumped out the window. Jaime Munguia can beat, oh my heavens, he can give Canelo problems. I think he can beat Triple G. He would, Charlo, Hurt. All y'all motherfuckers jumped out the window. Lincoln left the room. And I just want to say this. You can't get excited for what people do outside the margins. Everyone gets excited about what people does outside the margins. Like if a baseball player bats 300 for one season and then bats 240 for one season, you remember the one season he hit 300. No, do what he does the 70% of the time, not what he does 15% on this side of the margin, the right side of the margin, and what he does on the left side of the margin. Now everyone's coming back down to earth. Jaime Munguia is green. He needs some more work, and that's just a microcosm of like how we make initial reactions. Now, just to substantiate my claim, I'm still undefeated in my fight predictions. I'm 25 wins, 0 losses, and 1 draw. The 1 draw was Adonis Stevenson and I believe Adonis Stevenson and the other kid, Badu Jack. And the toughest prediction I ever had to make, honestly, was Jared Hurd and Lara. Everyone, 90% of the boxing community picked Lara. Don't be fooled. Don't be tricked. All right, Lara was an easy person to pick against Jared Hurd, a guy who only had 40 amateur fights, 21-0, stalker, fights off balance, fights square, takes a lot of punches, lacks head movement. Y'all picked Lara. I picked Hurd. I was in my car. I was wavering over it. My boxing intuition told me to take. My boxing instincts told me to take Lara. But my spirit and my heart says no, Fred. You got to go with Hurd, and Hurd actually won the fight. Now, which leads me to today. Sunday morning, I've watched a handful of videos. I've read some articles, and by all consensus, and we'll use Roy Jones as the expert in it, he says he's 2 or 3 years away. Jaime Munguia is simply a guy who will never have the fundamentals, will always rely on his power. I know he's only 21. You guys saying he's 21, he has room for improvement. No. Your amateur career prepares you for your professional career. I don't know how long his amateur career was. I have no idea. But if you have a small amateur career, you're able to make adjustments as a pro. What you do good will become great. All right, for the most part. There are very few people who can make adjustments. Now, you can make fight-by-fight adjustments, but when you get hit in the face in the 7th round and you get tired, those adjustments become minimum, and you depend on what you've done most of your career, which is the middle, not the margins, right? So, I will say this. I believe Jared Hurd beats Munguia. I believe Canelo beats Munguia. I believe Jamel Charlo beats Munguia. Munguia has no concept of how to box. Has minimum. Forgive me for saying that. I'm speaking in absolutes. He lacks the ability to box, and I know he thought a little bit in the ring, but he was still loading up and got hit a lot against a C+ fighter. Liam Smith Hart is bigger. Liam Smith Hart is bigger than his boxing ability, and that's what happens if Liam Smith was a little bit younger. It would have been a tough fight. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, y'all need to calm down off Jaime Munguia. Jaime Munguia is not that good. Don't fall in love with his punching power. Fall in love with who he is. He is a stalker that lacks defense. I will say that again. He is a stalker that lacks defense. And you guys may say the same thing about Hurd. He is a stalker that lacks defense. But Hurd makes small adjustments. He replants his feet. He watched the Lara fight and watched the first round versus the seventh round. He stalks with the intentions of breaking you down. Munguia stalks with the intentions of knocking you out. You guys see the difference? Watch Hurd's foot placement as he goes on in the fight. Watch Munguia's foot placement as he goes on with the fight. Watch Munguia's right hand. It's not a puncher's right hand. It's like, I'm going to knock you out by any means necessary. But anyways, man. So I just want everyone to understand, Munguia is a... See, the reason why Munguia is sexy, I'm going to just break it down for you guys and be real as realistic as possible. He doesn't fight like a Mexican. He fights with raw emotion coming to knock you out, and that's sexy, right? He has a killer instinct, right? He has, and he has that young youthfulness, which engages everyone's narcissism, right? Everyone wants to be young, flashy, fly, you know, like that's our narcissistic part of our personality when we see Jaime Munguia, right? He is an outlier type of Mexican type fighter, right? He doesn't put his head down, go forehead to forehead in boxes. Yeah, sure. We can go to the aquarium. And
they're not the aquarium. They're a point to find zoo.
Okay.
They're the point to find zoo in aquarium.
Thank you. So he doesn't put his head down and go forehead to forehead and throw 45 body punches around. 45 body punches a round. He gears up with his right hand, coming to stalk and knock you out. And to the novice and to the narcissistic fan, that's kind of sexy, right? Right? A guy that's coming to knock you out that doesn't look like he's coming to knock you out, right? It's kind of like I'm trying to think off the cuff. Like an assassin that smiled. You understand? Like, you guys know throughout the history of boxing, feel free to put in the comment section, but he is who he is, guys. And he has the same trainer. I mean, he can make adjustments if he goes with a different trainer at this age. I don't know who his trainer is. Forgive me for not knowing. But he's not. He will be destroyed by a fighter who throws straight punches. And above average footwork, he has no chance. Above average IQ, he has no chance. Now you guys are going to put in the comment section, again, Jaime Munguia is only 21. He has a lot to learn. Yes, but he's not fighting 21 years old from this point on. He's fighting Luis Collazo type fighters, and he's fighting world champions. He has no room in his career to work on his craft in the ring. He has little room. Like maybe he'll go down to Mexico and fight a bum fight and work on something he's been working on in the gym. Quite possibly. But right now in his career, he's fighting Liam Smiths on up. He's not fighting a Gabe Rosado. No disrespect to Gabe Rosado. But like shot fighters who don't believe that they're shot. He's not fighting them anymore. All right, he's going to fight the former world champions to get to the world champions. And he's going to be who he is. He's going to get tore up by a person who throws straight punches. Do I believe he's a bum? No. And when I say when I make these claims or accusations, I'm not saying he goes in the fight and gets washed. He gets knocked out 4 times and loses by unanimous decision or loses by TKO. That's not what I'm saying. He will be in fights. He will be a competitor in the fight. But when that last round go ding, 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 great fight, guys. I believe against a Hurd, against a Lara, against everyone else, those top 4 154 guys. Well, Canelo's 160 now. He won't have a chance. And you will see his flaws. Okay, I'll give you guys, remember Groves and Eubanks? That's Jaime Munguia. Eubanks was going for the knockout instead of trying to break Groves down. Hurd goes and breaks you down. And then by the 10th, 11th, and 12th round, you have nothing left. Check out his last 3 opponents, just to give you the great example. Now, remember, what you do in the middle, what you do 70% of your boxing career is who you are. Now you will get a Jermell Charlo knockout against Lubin in your career. You know, that's an outlier experience. Daniel Jacobs versus Peter Quillen, that's an outlier experience. But what Hurd does is Harrison walks you down, breaks you down. Of course, he's losing to a boxer. Walks you down, breaks you down. Trout walks you down, walks you down, walks you down. And his last opponent, Lara, he was losing in 12th round. He didn't know he was losing in 12th round, but he walks you down to break you down, walks you down to break you down. That should be a Migos song, right? Walks you down to break you down. And these are the truths. Now you guys are gonna say, "Oh, Fred don't know what he's talking about." I'm 25-0-1, not by mistake, not by accident, because what I do is simple in life. I put his 70% against his 70%. I've been fortunate enough that I ain't ran into a first round surprising knockout or like an outlier experience. I'll admit that, but at the end of the day, go through life with this being pragmatic. What you do 70% versus what he does 70%. Right? I'll give you guys an example. If DeMar DeRozan beats me one-on-one shooting threes, I'll take it. All right. If Shaquille O'Neal beats me by taking pull-up jump shots, I'll take that loss that day. But I'm double teaming off Shaquille O'Neal's left shoulder. I'm not allowing him to turn towards me. I'm going to let him shoot that one-handed fadeaway from the baseline. You guys remember that shit, right? Or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I'm not letting Kareem Abdul-Jabbar turn to his left shoulder. I'm going to double team from the baseline and make him shoot a fadeaway jump shot or pass it back out. And if he beats me turning over his right shoulder, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, instead of shooting that over left-handed sky hook, I'm going to allow him to do that. He beats me. You're a better man that day. It's like me when I competed. I know the only way I could have been successful against bigger point guards, and 9 out of 10 point guards were bigger than me, is I had to manufacture an advantage. I had to pick him up from free throw line to free throw line. That's it. And I hope that he breaks down in the third and fourth quarter and maybe has 2 unforced turnovers that will lead us to a 6 to 10 point victory. That's it. And sometimes I got fatigued, you know. Sometimes he went and post me up and he won. But at the end of the day, I had to manufacture my advantage. And your manufacturing your advantage allows you to believe in the 70% of who you are. So anyways, man, barbershop conversations, man. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. Anything else you want to say, Lincoln? Anything else you want to say? I'm about to end the video. Thank you. Barbershop Conversations. Follow my Barbershop Conversations live. And I appreciate y'all. Peace.